Hello and welcome to the Dubai Science Park podcast. I'm Dr. Sheen, your host, and we are here today in the Dubai Science Park for the GCLS Longevity Summit. My guest today is Dr. Natasha Vita-More, and I'm super excited to talk to her all things longevity. Hi, Natasha. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. So tell us, Natasha, this is your first time in Dubai, is that right?
Yes, it is. I'm so excited to be here. I love the city. I love the sculpture, the architecture, and the people are really so welcoming.
And I know it's only been the morning for the summit, but tell us, how has it been?
The summit has been inspirational, to say the least. It has a diverse set of people, attendees, as well as speakers. And I think that's really important because it's a broad range of what the field, the industry, the science, and the movement of longevity is all about.
Mm-hmm. And I know this is your first time working with the Dubai Science Park as a speaker for the summit, but what do you see them doing really well when it comes to longevity?
What I think Science Park is doing really right is education, focusing on the multidisciplinary and transdisciplinary structure of longevity, which is an industry, it's a science, and it is a movement. Putting that all together syncretically so people can understand it as smoothly as possible can be best done through education. So I think that is number one, and I think Science Park is doing an exceptional job.
Oh, amazing. And I'm so excited they invited you to speak here tomorrow. Tell us, what is your talk about tomorrow?
My talk is about the new human infrastructure in longevity as being what I describe as an operating system. And this operating system is the process of variables that interact with each other. Through these variables, there are key functionalities. These are facilitators, or what we could look at as doing a specific job, a utility. So I look at what are the primary utilities within this infrastructure, within this operating system, that will help people best understand their own bodies, the longevity of their minds, cognitive capacity, and the social economic factors of longevity.
Wow. And you know, when we talk about longevity, now it's the hot topic. Everybody's talking about it. But you were just telling me before we started recording how the wording of it is very important.
Yes. I'm so glad you mentioned that. I just finished writing a chapter for a very interesting book on longevity. And my chapter is titled The Evolving Lexicon of Longevity. I've been in this field for almost 40 years, which is a long time. But when you look at it, it's going by so quickly. What I've noticed, what stands out, is the terminology has changed. It's shifted. Anti-aging became longevity. Lifespan or life expectancy became healthspan. So there's certain words that mean something. Even the word aging has different interpretations across different sectors. So I think it's very important that we understand this. Not that there has to be terminologies that is siloed, but that we understand how it's used in different disciplines and be able to find some copaesthetic and syncretic system there.
I know, and I wanted to ask you, are we entering a future then where we are talking about us humans upgrading our bodies and our minds? And what does that actually mean for all of us ordinary people?
Oh, I love that question. That brings out the futurist, the designer in me. I've been thinking about this since the late 1990s. How is prosthetics and robotics and nanotechnology and artificial intelligence going to work together to help those of us who have diseases or those of us who are getting older and maybe let's just put it bluntly, more feeble in our actions? This comes with age. This is what we consider older age or senior citizens or the elderly. Many of us need to have transplants or implants or upgrades. There are so many knees surgeries now, replacement parts, shoulder replacement, etc. We're going to be looking at the entire body as potentially replaceable. And this ties into cognition as well. And this is an area I care a lot about. My scientific research is on long-term memory because I see it as one of the fields in longevity that is not getting the attention it deserves. For example, every day, 10,000 people turn 65. Well, that's considered older age.
Yeah.
So if that's considered older age and 10,000 people are turning 65 every day, what are we going to do about the older population and the decline decline and the rise of dementia. It's going to triple by 2050. This is a serious concern for many people. So I look at that and I think of, could we replace neurons? What can we do with biostasis or cryobiology with neurons? Is there any way to preserve neurons, much like we preserve embryos or a sperm, an egg, in the field of reproduction? Our brain cells may need to have our neurological makeup reproduced in some way that is really considered the future of preventative medicine.
Wow. And again, now we're talking about preventative medicine, but the other terms that keeps coming up when we're talking about longevity and medicine in the future is AI, right?
Yes.
And what are your opinions when it comes to what will AI do? Will it help us live longer, or will it widen the gap between people who can afford medical help and cannot?
I'm going to answer the second part first because that's the tastiest. AI. Well, when we talk about AI, artificial intelligence, there's many different types. There's narrow artificial intelligence, which is everywhere today. There is deep learning, there's LLM, large language models, there's general artificial intelligence towards super artificial intelligence. These are all on the spectrum of AI. So looking at basically how can AI work with biomedical systems to both help with aging and diseases as well as extend life for everyone. The main question is who gets it, the rich, the haves, et cetera. I think AI is going to narrow the playing field. It's going to make it more accessible to everyone because if you think about it, everyone who has a cell phone, which is pretty much almost everyone on the planet, no matter where you live, may not have great reception, but you will have that device. Could be an old one, could be a new one, doesn't matter, they all work. Everyone has that, and on our devices is AI. So AI comes with the software that's on devices, whether you're just using ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or Grok or whatever it is, Microsoft, etc. So everyone has access to it, so everyone has it. Now, I think the bigger question, and more seriously, is when we're starting to look at personalized medicine and AI-steered digital personas and looking at how we're going to work through prevention and solving diseases, yes, those who can afford it will have higher value, higher capabilities of products and interventions, to be sure. But as we know with economics and the general marketplace, it trickles down.
Yeah.
What was say $3,000 last year is now $50 today. It's that extreme. That's not an exaggeration. So I think that longevity is for everyone. I think that AI is going to expedite the usability, the interpersonal ability, and personalized medicine. AI is making great strides in looking at DNA and all the makeup of our different genetics. While we're so similar, each human being, our bodies metabolize differently. Our genes can turn on and off based on epigenetics. So your lifestyle could change your health. We could have the same genes, the same propensities, but how you live your life could determine whether a protein could be switched on and off that could cause a more serious disease. So we get back to what I love about this location is education, and what you're doing primarily, and what the Geneva College of Longevity Science and the Knowledge Park, the Science Center, all of it is education, and we need more of it. We need to make it as seamless and available to everyone and get our terminology straight.
Absolutely. And do you think, how far are we from people's lifespan becoming 120 or 150 years?
I think it's very close. There are more centenarians today than ever. People are living into their 100s, not like they were years ago. I remember as a teenager, I had worked for the Home for Incurables. I did a lot of hospital volunteer work. I've always worked in the medical field. And I looked at people 70 and older back then, and most of them were in wheelchairs or in homes where they were just looking at a wall or playing bridge if they could. Most of them had dementia and couldn't get out of a wheelchair. Today, that is not the norm. Today, people are out of their wheelchairs, learning how to reinvigorate, learning how to get along. Well, then you have what I talked about earlier, thanks to your question, about replaceable body parts, and looking at enhancement and augmentation as a necessary part of biomedical intervention for Healthspan.
I love that. And I know that a lot of your work examines how technology can really extend and enhance human life. Where is the ethical line between life-saving innovation and human enhancement, and who should be drawing that line?
You know, there's a big thing in 2004 in the United States. The president then had a bioethics committee that put a moratorium, a halt, on stem cells because they said it was dangerous, that it would change the fundamental essence of being human. Today, stem cells are used repeatedly,
Every
often,
day. Yeah.
everywhere. In fact, even your toothpaste has stem cells, not really, but it's advertised as marketed. Right,
yes.
exactly. So stem cells have become very main term, meaning looking at regeneration and along with hyaluronic acid and other treatments, to be sure. But I think that the key thing here is that looking at stem cells, looking at intervention, looking at the fine line in ethics, we will say it's unethical until we need it. Because as humans, we have a bit of an innate need to have scrutiny, and that's a good thing. We have an innate need to apply critical thinking. We have an innate ability to question, and the ability of questioning is our greatest asset, besides imagination, to be sure. Or, as you had quoted earlier, to have, what was the term you used? Dream.
Dream.
The dream. Imagination, innovation, to have a dream of the future of what it can be, can put people on edge if they don't understand it. That's why education is important. But once it's explained in a way, then those fears kind of fall away. And what seemed unethical or unnatural or inhumane become normal and natural. Today, stem cells are part of natural biomedical interventions, tomorrow genetic engineering, etc. So it's just a matter of how soon the technology can catch up to the vision of futurists and visionaries who think about longer, healthier lives. So going back to your main question, I think that we'll be able to live into our 120s within the next decades, maybe by 2050. But I don't make predictions. I'm just looking at market trends and the feasibility and foresight of what could happen. Not everyone will want to live longer, but I think that if we live longer with Healthspan, not sitting in a wheelchair, unhappy with dementia, but living vital lives, we'll probably want to keep on living until we can't. And I think that's a very positive thing. I think it's very ethical. In fact, if we look at it frankly, it's kind of unethical to let people die from diseases that can be cured if we don't have the money or the technology to do it, or the capability. We have the capability, we have the technology, we have the money, we have the time to do it. So looking at diseases and curing them that cause the old aging, that cause that incredible decline, is part of our moral or ethical responsibility.
I love that. That's very beautifully put.
No,
and
you.
I guess my parting question is, what is one thing you want more people to either learn about or you want more people to focus on when it comes to helping the whole movement of longevity?
What I'd like more people to think about and learn about is that don't believe everything you hear. There is so much snake oil, there's so much false advertising, so much marketing. And many conferences have this salvo, we're solving aging. No, we're working on solving aging. We are not solving aging at this moment. We have not solved it. We still don't understand all the different biomarkers, the different ingredients of this massive chemical operating system, to use my term there, that we have. There's going to be much more need of AI to sort it out. And I think Greg Ventura did a great job early on in using AI as a baseline to understand the complexities of chromosomes and genetic makeup, et cetera. I think that be careful, be aware, don't believe everything you read. Get your terminology down, do your research. And if you need AI to assist you, be careful. Tell it not to compliment or flaunt you, but to be critical with you and give you the most appropriate, accurate information, not a flash.
That's a very useful prompt. Thank you so
You're
much, Dr.
very welcome.
Natasha.
I enjoyed talking to you.
Me too. This was lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.